New on Curiosity Stream. She was a loving wife, a devoted mother. She also stole atomic secrets and gave them to the Soviets. Meet the woman whose deception kick-started the Cold War on the spy who stole the atom bomb. And
what if they catch you?
Then I shall be shot.
They're coming! Come back!
relive history's most death-defying escapes. It's Impossible Escapes, Civil War. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit CuriosityStream.com.
Well, great balls of fire, Bubba. What happened, Buford? That crazy son of a Sal blew right through that four-way stop on Main Street and plowed into my cowboy Cadillac.
Your what?
My pickup truck. And I'm pretty sure my leg is broken, Ted.
Oh, quit your bitching, Buford, and talk with those side busters at the Advocates Law Firm. When I got busted up last month, well, shoot, they made sure those snakes at the insurance company played fair.
Boy, howdy. Even that creepy so-and-so Kyle earned his keep.
So if you get injured, the advocates get results. AdvocatesLaw.com.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the Men's Room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the Men's Room.
And away we go. Welcome to Season 17, episode number 3621. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, the Ted Smith, and Mike Hawk. And two are the Men's Room. On tap today it is a random question. Your guess is as good as mine. Categories: the most dangerous sports and favorite breakfast cereals. We will play Profile This. Plus headlines, the Men's Room Shot of the Day, funnable listener emails, and everyone's favorite, TV Time with Ted.
Clack, clack.
All right, here we go. Oregon man acts like a DEA agent so he can ride with a woman in his car every night. Meanwhile, a woman gets a tattoo of the Virgin Mary, which looks like a place that is warm and tight. Florida man tells cops the meth in his car is just delicious breath mints. Banning bike helmets for safety reasons makes little, if no sense. And Vegas company is now selling mile-high club packages and an official certificate to boot. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
All the bitches, good day to you and yours.
There are times that being completely naked does not shock or bother anyone. Taking a shower or bath, making sexy time, being a nudist at a nudist resort, being born. These are all perfectly plausible reasons for being butt-ass naked. But this is the United States, and one of those states is Florida, where a naked man pulled a fire alarm at a Tampa high-rise apartment building. But that was not all he did. The naked man then sprayed everyone with a fire extinguisher as they evacuated. Then, naked man was chased down the street by angry residents before being arrested. Now, as Florida as that is, a man in British Columbia said, "Oh, you think that's weird? Hold my Labatt's." Now, like his Florida counterpart, our Canadian friend, he was naked. Unlike his Florida counterpart, he was not standing in public. Oh, no. He was living in the trunk of a woman's car for 3 days. We should point out, she did not know that a naked man was living in the trunk of her car for 72 hours. Oddly enough, 72 hours, that's also how many hours of work that dancers at this year's Super Bowl halftime show will not get paid for. All right, they're already in rehearsals. The NFL's like, yeah, well, 3 of those days, we're just not going to pay you. Now, I know what you're thinking. Sure, the NFL is worth over $100 billion, but they cannot be bothered to pay for dance rehearsal. It's just not in the budget, you see? Yeah. Now, these are just some of the stories we've come across. Stories that left us with many questions. Questions we'd like to ask you in the form of our random question, and here is how it works. You call us, we ask you a question at complete random, and after you share your story, we will share with you the news story that inspired said question.
Be part of the big show, the Random Question. Call 206-421-ROCK. Like the Men's Room on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live, and send your emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
New on Curiosity Stream, she was a loving wife, a devoted mother. She also stole atomic secrets and gave them to the Soviets. Meet the woman whose deception kick-started the Cold War on the spy who stole the atom bomb. And
what if they catch you?
Then I shall be shot.
They're coming! Come back!
relive history's most death-defying escapes. It's Impossible Escapes, Civil War. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit CuriosityStream.com.
Hey, all of it, thank you so much for listening to the Men's Room Podcast.
And thanks to our pals at the Advocates Law Firm for being great partners. Yes, even you, creepy Kyle.
Seriously, though, if you'd been injured as a result of somebody else in your car, on your bike, walking across the street, talk to our friends at the Advocates Law Firm and let them help you out.
Yeah, they're the best injury lawyers around, and they want to make sure that you're not taken advantage of. Plus, your first consultation is free.
It's simple. You get injured, the advocates get results. Contact them today at advocateslaw.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. When we think about the COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in the Black community, let's remember, it didn't happen by chance. It's justified in history. But the will to change the narrative is strong today, and our people are lending their voices to the conversation. We're sharing our stories and the reasons that made us choose the vaccine so we can lead the way for others to make a well-informed choice too. To hear our stories, visit hereforuswa.org.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Hold the fellas, away we go. Welcome to season 17, episode number 3621. What a large and in charge program we have for you today. Guaranteed future repeat, that is a fact. Exciting return of your guesses as good as mine. Our categories today. Talk a lot about cereals on this show today.
Damn right.
Based on voting, we have the top 10 favorite breakfast cereals of all times. Most of them are tried and true classics.
Okay.
So not Grape Nuts.
I was going to say, no way Grape Nuts is there.
Don't think of Total. Don't think of anything that when you had it as a kid, you're like, this sucks. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Like the puff cereal, the corn puff cereals.
I hated those. I really did, man. I don't know.
I'm a weak guy.
Like Pops?
What's the one with the frog on it? Yeah.
Sugar Smacks.
Sugar Smacks. Terrible cereal. Sorry. Just terrible cereal. You know what I mean? Some of them you think are going to be good when you're a kid because they have a cartoon figure on the front of the box.
Sugar Smacks.
All those things that you taste and you're like, oh, God.
Yeah. Basically what I learned
is horrible.
Don't trust a frog if it's not Kermit.
You want to think about cereals that you enjoyed. Mm-hmm. Maybe you enjoyed them as a kid. Maybe you still enjoy them as an adult. But either way, they're a good bowl of cereal. One on here is unbelievable as far as a glaring omission in my world. But I'll throw it out there and just give you a hint if you're going to pick the category.
Fruity Pebbles.
No, there's no Raisin Bran. Oh. See, to me, I know that sounds like an old man thing to say.
It is an old man thing
but
to say.
But I really do like a bowl of Raisin Bran.
I love Raisin Bran.
I know a lot of people do. If you're saying the top 10 favorites, it might get honorable mention, but sorry, you are not in the Hall of Fame.
They got the, when I'll stay in a hotel and they have the lovely breakfast for you in the morning, they'll have like 3 towers of cereal. They always have Fruit Loops for the kids.
Yep.
They always have Frosted Flakes. And they have Raisin Bran.
Sure.
And I always go over there and grab a big old bowl of Raisin Bran. I sit there and I eat it. I'm like, I never eat cereal.
And then
Raisin
he says,
Bran is
what's
delicious.
amazing? They never asked for an ID at the bar. Exactly. They're like, sir, we saw you getting Raisin Bran.
Yeah.
You had choices and you picked Raisin Bran.
Raisin Bran.
Your ID.
You look like you enjoyed it.
Right.
And
you went for a second bowl. We don't need your ID.
And then in honor of the Winter Olympics, we have for you the 10 most dangerous sports. Sports where you are very likely to get badly injured or killed.
I was talking to Mike about this yesterday, and look, I have not been following the Olympics, but after my wife was done watching whatever the hell she was watching last night, the Olympics were on, and it was downhill skiing, which I guess have been delayed because of high winds or something like that.
Correct.
So they did a helicopter view of this course that are going down, and immediately I'm like, no. So we watched 5 skiers go down. It's just coming on, and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. They're going down this thing. First guy does all right. Second guy goes down, kind of trips over his ski. He's going 80 miles an hour, crashes into that orange netting on the side. He is injured to take him away. Another guy goes down. He almost lost his balance. He did not lose his balance, but when he got to the bottom, he's now holding his arm, which I believe he separated his shoulder. Another guy goes down, and this is in the first 5 skiers. He finishes the course. I think he even had a good time, but when he pulls off his goggle and his helmet, his entire nose and mouth are 100% bloody.
Well, you got to remember, man, it's all man-made snow.
Right.
It's been very, very cold there. I think,
which is wild. It is free. It is so cold, but there's no
precipitation. Even Nordic countries are complaining about the cold. You know, as far as
you're from Norway,
as far as competing in this weather.
Yeah,
and then it's all man-made snow. So once you just even get off the general area of the trail and the run, I mean, it's just ground.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what I mean. It's not like there's snow off to the side if you were to go through the netting or any of that stuff. I was looking at a jump today that they're going to do tonight, I believe, and it's in an industrial park in some town. It's near like what looked to be like cooling reactors.
Oh, good.
You know what I'm saying? And like it's just basically they spill into a parking lot. I'll show you a picture of it. It's crazy. You look
terrifying. And how fast are you going, man? I know one of the skiers yesterday got up to, at one point in the run, got up to like 80 miles an hour on the straightaway. And I'm like, that is insane to me. Looks fun. It really does. I just know I can't do it.
Trying to find.
Yeah, I mean that right, and they had the winds were so bad, so they moved it. But I mean, yeah, somebody broke their leg.
Did you see the actual mountain they're on?
Yeah,
I was like, dude. I mean that thing looks like a death trap, right?
You see, and one of the skiers put like a GoPro on his helmet, and when you watch him going down it.
Oh yeah.
That's the thing about skiing. Like I don't think you could. It's hard to tell. Like every sport looks easier when a pro does it.
Obviously,
but when you watch skiing, like that. That stuff is steep.
Yeah. I definitely, it really hit me yesterday. Like I've seen the Olympics since I've been a kid, but for some reason yesterday I'm looking, those are cooling reactors, Miles.
So right here is the ski jump, okay? But this is the close-up picture of it. There's seats over here and everything else, but I mean, there's no snow at the bottom of this thing. So basically, when you get to the bottom,
because the ski
figure it out.
The ski jumping and like the freestyle jumping, that venue, I want to say, was a soccer stadium or something else.
All right.
And then they just turned it into that.
Right.
I mean, it looks like it. It looks like
basically, if you don't stop, you're screwed. Yeah, I mean, if you get to the bottom of this thing. But either way, so in honor of the Olympics, the most dangerous sports, we have one winter sport on the list as far as being dangerous. We have 3 sports where people ride stuff.
Okay.
I mean, I have a guess what the number 1 sport that's dangerous is. Mm-hmm. It's not what people would think.
Combat sports, team sports on the list, the most dangerous sports. Coming up with your guess is as good as mine.
By the way, someone here says if you're ski jumping, you're going about 40 miles an hour. So on the jumps, you're going 40.
Okay. That's
still pretty fast, and they still, what is it, like 90? Is it 90 feet or 90 meters they're trying to hit? I guess 90 meters, 90 yards, something like that. Either way, I'm watching that again like, God, it looks fun, but I would crap myself the whole time.
Okay, and let's say, what else? A men's room happy hour coming up exclusively on the Odyssey app is Monday through Friday at 6 o'clock. We do a little happy hour action. It's an adult-only feature to the program. You get more men's room every Monday through Friday at 6. All you need to do is download the Odyssey app. It's absolutely free. There are hundreds of different stations on there, hundreds of different channels. If you moved here, say for whatever example, from, Philadelphia, let's say, and you have a favorite radio station you used to listen to in Philadelphia.
All right.
There's a chance it's going to be on that Odyssey app. You can listen to it now in your car. You can listen to different kinds of podcasts. You can listen to our podcast. And then you can go to the Men's Room Happy Hour channel where we go live Monday through Friday at 6. And if you click on that channel now, there's not going to be anything on there. But today we've got some Super Bowl prop bets. There are 10 Super Bowl prop bets. Here's my question, all right? Now, if you go to the Snoqualmie Casino and you go to the sportsbook area there, right? Or Emerald Queen, or wherever you're going to go. Can you make these prop bets on the Super Bowl? Or is it strictly,
I believe, in Vegas,
the sporting stuff, or is it, do you get to do the prop bets too?
I think in Vegas, at least for the Super Bowl, if I remember this right from last year, they open up the prop bets as well.
Okay. So basically,
well, Vegas is famous for it. You can go there and bet on any of them.
Okay. We're going to do the prop bets coming up on the happy hour just to see how we do.
Sure.
So an example of a prop bet will be
over under on length of the national anthem.
Depends who's singing it.
Yeah,
I believe that started as a direct result of Whitney Houston.
What they're doing now is a new twist on the national anthem bet. Will any scoring drive take less time than it takes to sing the national anthem?
Okay. All right.
So what is the average time to sing the national anthem, would you guess? 2 minutes?
I don't think it's even that long.
Is it a minute and a half? You'd think I'm definitely going to go yes on that one. There's the color of the Gatorade that'll be dumped on the winning coach.
Yep.
So that's a prop bet. Is it going to be
I did this with a bunch of friends last year. It was pretty fun.
Orange.
Keeps you interested throughout the whole game.
Sure.
Will a kicker, even if he makes it or misses it, will he hit the upright or a crossbar? Okay.
On a field goal or extra point. So we've got all those coming up. We'll do that coming up with the Men's Room Happy Hour.
Oh, Mickey Guyton singing.
I don't know who that is.
Neither do I.
Nicky,
How do none of us even know?
He's a country singer. I hope it's a dude.
I mean, but it's still, you know the names, even if you don't know the songs.
So do they do that to appeal to the broad audience out there? So in other words, if the game were to be in Nashville for whatever reason, and it was all like country artists, the stars of country, then would you have a different artist from a different genre, like, sing the national
Well, look at it like this.
Or do the pre-parties?
You have hip-hop that is the predominant force
this year.
At halftime.
Right.
So maybe you go country artists to sing the national
That's
anthem.
what I'm saying. Yeah, you just kind of switch it up a little bit.
I guess.
That's kind of what they do. Like, if you have pop stars, then generally you'll have more of like an R&B star sing the national anthem. Like, I think you try to kind of balance it.
Because otherwise, no one's watching that game.
No, why would they?
If you don't do that, no one's tuning in.
Random.
Oh, boy. Hello, Jess.
That's
Welcome
Mickey?
to the Men's Room. All right.
Hola.
Real quick, Mickey Guyton is a black female country artist.
I obviously have no idea what her songs are.
That's all right. They got Eminem playing it, balances. See, they still find that delicate balance.
Finally, Detroit close to a Super Bowl. Eminem.
That's the closest.
And Stafford.
Yes.
All right, Jess, let's go with this one. When did you not get paid to work? Or what was the lowest paying job that you've ever had?
Oh, gosh, got to answer for both of those. Well, I was on a paint job. It was just supposed to be like a really quick little turnover thing. It was like some hotel maintenance. And this guy, I found it through Craigslist, just some side work. And I brought all my tools out and I did everything that was, all the units that they needed, repainted and everything. And he just basically, not only did he not pay me, but I had left my tools in a lockup unit where some of the other subcontractors had left some of their tools. And the hotel staff wouldn't let us into that unit to get our own tools. And then this guy just straight disappeared, like changed his number, dropped off the face of the earth. And it was probably like a week and a half worth of work. So not only did I not get paid, but I lost a lot of my tools. So that was, I'm still
How many people were working with you?
So it was just myself and 3 other painters, but they also had hired this quote unquote contractor had hired a couple of carpenters and other, just labor type employees. But as far as the painters, the people I was working with, there was 4 of us. And I don't know as far as what happened with the carpenters. I'm assuming probably the same thing, but yeah, it was really crummy.
So basically this guy he disappeared out of thin air.
Yeah, exactly. And we had friended each other on Facebook, and this is like pre-pandemic and everything. And so we were friends on Facebook, and then all of a sudden I'm mysteriously blocked. And I went by, I had gone to pick up some material from what I thought was his house or his residence while I was doing this little side job, and there was like nothing there, nobody there, not him, not his fiance or wife or whoever. I don't even know if that was a true story, but she also blocked me on Facebook. And I mean, at that point, there was like nothing we could even do about it. Just,
so you can't, there's no way to press any kind of,
Better Business Bureau,
charges of, you know what I mean? As far as, I don't know.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I guess that was a hard lesson learned because, I just assumed, people are still decent, and this is, like I said, it's like side job, so it wasn't like I was checking his credentials, but yeah, it was.
Well, okay, let me ask you this, Jess, how old are you?
I'm 36 right now.
Okay, 36. So what was the least amount of money that you actually got paid from a job?
Right, like this is a job that's on the books.
When they're like, look, it could be anything. You got $20 to babysit for 5 hours, whatever the deal is, you know what I mean? What was the lowest
job? I worked at Wild Waves when I was 15, but because of minor labor laws, I wasn't allowed to work 40 hours a week. I had to work, I believe it was 25 was the max at that time, and I was getting minimum wage, which I want to say was like $7 an hour.
Okay.
And then, but I mean, that was a teenage job. I don't know if that counts.
Did you get free access to go to the park on your day off if you wanted to?
Well, we weren't supposed to, but I can't say that I was the only one that wore my employee uniform shirt to go in and then just go to the bathroom.
Sure, I would. All right. Of course, look, they know what you're doing. They just have to say things at the top like, hey, don't do this. They know goddamn well you will. She said, minimum wage was what, 7 something for her?
When I started, it was $3.10.
Mine was, I think it was $3.25. But anyway, the lowest paying job I had was Chi-Chi's, but it's relative, right? because they offered me $5 an hour. And knowing the minimum wage was like $3.25, $3.75. Like, to me, I was like, oh, dude, you just won the lottery. Oh, absolutely. Because all my buddies are getting minimum wage jobs. We're all the same age. And I'm like, yeah, listen, dog, I got $5 an hour, so I'll go ahead. I'll pick up beers tonight.
When I started working in radio, it was $3.25 an hour. I think I want to say it was somewhere between 12 and 15 hours a week. It was mostly overnights and the weekends. And then I would do some promotional stuff when they needed it in the summer. So I go and...
Did they actually pay you for promotional stuff?
Yeah, I'd take the van to the Kroger, set it up. You know, the DJ would come and then they would give away prizes. And
but see, radio's game was always, if you were on air at all, even if they gave you 15 minutes a week, if you did something, like drive the station van wherever, like somehow that was just included. Yeah. In your work. Like, you got paid for the hour you did it, but it wasn't like they really hooked you up.
So the guy who owned another radio station in town, the rock radio station in town, I saw him because I played baseball with his sons and Little League growing up and all that stuff. He lived in the neighborhood and whatever. And he saw me one day. He was out walking around with his wife, and he's like, hey. He's like, I heard you're working at WVAQ. And I said, yeah, man. He's like, do you like radio? I was like, I really like radio. I'm learning. I'm not doing a lot. Now they got me on the overnight so I can watch the board and do some things. I'm not cracking the mic except for on the AM station, but I'm learning how the automation works. I'm learning all these things. You know what I'm saying? He's like, what if I said maybe you should come work with me? And I was like, all right, well, how many hours can you be? He's like, I'll guarantee you over 15 hours.
Hey.
Like, this is like 3 or 4 more hours. He's like, what are you making now? I said, 3.25. He says, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll pay you $3.50. Sold. Sold. Yeah. I went into work the next day and quit. Put in my 2 weeks. It's like That's it. The reason we asked, when did you not get paid for work? Hundreds of excited fans will pour into the field while the hip-hop dream team of Snoop Dogg, Mary J. Blige, Dr. Dre, Eminem, and Kendrick Lamar performed during the Super Bowl. Viewers will probably see them move their bodies to the music. What they won't see are these 72 hours they spent over 9 days in unpaid rehearsals, all of the dancers and performers on the field. So they were asked to also provide their own transportation and adhere to the same strict protocol that everyone else has.
NFL's worth $100 billion.
So all the singers...
And you can't pay. Because no, you're going to pay them much.
Dancers, musicians, the
crazy.
Local drill teams, the theatrical people, the community, the athletic... All the people that are going to show up there. They have to go through hours and hours and hours of practice and training. They don't get a dime. More of the random question coming up, 206-421-ROCK.
New on Curiosity Stream, he allows them their riches
Putin has to be the richest of the rich.
in exchange for their loyalty.
The oligarchs have supported someone for president that they underestimated.
The illicit affair between Russia's elite and the man who rules them on Putin and the oligarchs. And World War II Normandy. An obscure battle training session takes a tragic turn. Uncover the one secret military catastrophe on the secret D-Day disaster. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit CuriosityStream.com.
Oh, drat. I was driving along minding my own business when that vulgar leech hit my Beamer with his pickup truck. I fear I've fractured my clavicle.
I say, old boy, don't simply put it in the hands of your insurance company to sort it out. Talk with the dedicated road solicitors at the Advocates Law Firm.
Pipe down, you old sod. The Advocates will see your case through to the bitter end and won't sleep a fortnight until they have victory in their grasp.
Jolly good, old man. Jolly good indeed.
You get injured, the Advocates get results. AdvocatesLaw.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. When we think about the COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in the Black community, let's remember, it didn't happen by chance. It's justified in history. But the will to change the narrative is strong today, and our people are lending their voices to the conversation. We're sharing our stories and the reasons that made us choose the vaccine so we can lead the way for others to make a well-informed choice too. To hear our stories, visit hereforuswa.org.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
If you're on hold there for the random question, call back 206-421-ROCK. Our phone lines just took a dump. We got them back up and running.
Can you believe it? By the way, we're talking about minimum wage jobs. Now, you and I are fairly old, Miles, and we're at what? $3.15, $3.25 an hour.
$3.10.
When we were old enough, I guess, to start working. And somebody here says, my first job, minimum wage, 65 cents.
Wow.
That was around 1974. Someone else in 1972 by the way, got $1.80 an hour as a dishwasher. And someone else, I was in junior high school. On weekends, I worked at Lorenzo's Car Wash in Palo Alto, California. Minimum wage, $1.25.
My dad sent me he was sending old ads from places that I remember growing up in my hometown.
Okay.
There was a place called Pizza Inn. It wasn't Pizza Hut. They only had 2 locations.
Pizza Inn.
And they were both located at the mall. You had to go to the mall to go to Pizza Inn. But the ad was for all-you-can-eat spaghetti and meatballs on Sunday, which I'd been to. This was an ad from 1977. How much do you think all-you-can-eat spaghetti and meatballs in West Virginia, 1977? All-you-can-eat.
$2.25.
Oh, you are really close. It was $2.50. It was $2.09.
All right.
I don't know why that number was so.
Does it adjust for sales tax?
$2.09.
A lot of times they do that, so after tax it gives them an even number.
I don't know. I'm like $2.09
for all you can eat.
All you can eat spaghetti and meatballs.
And there was a heavy Italian influence.
Oh yeah, totally.
So spaghetti and meatballs on Sunday
that's
would
tradition.
be big business.
That's tradition. Yeah.
The church always, even Catholic school, we would always have the spaghetti feeds because it's just
always
easy and cheap.
Do you remember the first album that I convinced my parents to buy? It was Kiss Alive. All right.
I thought you were going to say it was a spaghetti incident.
No, I'm like 7 or 8 years old. I can't remember, but the album was there. Kiss was blowing up, and I seen this album. We're at a place called Golden Circle, which is I don't want to call it the equivalent of Target. That'd be an insult to Target. But growing up, that is how you perceived it, all right? So I grabbed this album. It's a double live album, and I'm begging and pleading with my mother to buy this. And I always remember she looked at the price. And I mean, she finally did buy it for me, but she came crashing. Now, do you understand? I'm like, blah, 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 blah. It was $7.35 wholesale. I'm like, man, if my kid asked me for $7.35, I'm like, here.
Yeah.
That is the cheapest possible thing they can ask me for. Hello, Cody. Welcome to the men's room.
Liquor and whores.
Liquor and whores.
All right, Cody. Let's go with this question. Cody, what do you wish that you did not see? What do you wish you didn't see?
There's a couple of things I wish I didn't see, but I guess the thing I wish I didn't see was a mom having sex with his boyfriend. We can all say that.
That's all right. How old were you?
Which time?
The first time.
Oh man.
I go with 9.
Do you remember it affecting you?
Yeah. I tried to scrub my eyes out, and then my mom asked why I was trying to shove a dagger in my eye.
Did you know what it is they were doing? At the age of 9, did you recognize what they're doing?
Yep. Oh, yeah. Knew what was going on.
Okay.
Same guy the second time?
It wasn't fun.
Okay. What about the next time you saw her?
Different guy. Same style. You catch him.
I got you.
All right.
So you don't want to know what your mom likes.
Are you one of these people who don't knock on the door? You came home early? What was the situation where you were continually exposed to this?
Always surprised. Just walked right in. Didn't know. Yeah, it was happening.
I mean, was she in her room? Were they in the living room, bent over the dining room table? What?
Yeah, pretty much circumference the house. We'll put it that way.
All right. Let me ask you, was there, you said the style that she's into. Was it coitus? Were they actually engaged in sex? Was that what you were watching?
I wasn't watching, but it was full on, and dogs like to have that.
Oh, all right. Okay, I was wondering what goes on there.
That's only because dogs can't do it any other way.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why dogs stare at us when we have sex. Like, dude, I would love to do what you're doing.
You don't know what you're doing.
I guess. How are you on top of her? That's crazy, man.
I think they figured out the best way.
The dogs? No, I agree.
Yeah.
So do you think that, we don't know this, but in the dog's history, they have tried everything in the Kama Sutra, and dogs agreed, I like being behind you. Yeah, baby, do it like that.
What if the dog's owner was a cowgirl? Said, I completely object to what you're saying.
Could you imagine walking home and you see 2 dogs having sex, and that's the position?
Right.
They
are freaks.
Man, oh man, as far as things you wish you would, there's 2 things that come to mind, and both are ridiculous to me, all right? So one, during my homeless times, there was this picture any motel on Aurora, all right? So it's that kind of place, but probably not that nice, but you can go there, grab a quick shower, just lay on a bed, all right? So all I wanted to do was get in the shower, and it's one giant kind of shower room, so 6 different shower heads are all facing, and there is a mountain of human poop dead center right next to the drain. And I remember walking in there, I had the towel over my shoulder, and I'm like, I can't explain how defeating it was. I'm like,
Sure.
I can't be in here with this. But that still pales in comparison. My high school girlfriend, her mom was a super bitch. But anyway, I'm sitting on the front steps of their house waiting for the girlfriend to come outside. She had this rather enormous neighbor that lived next door. Nice enough lady. But she came outside. I remember she had a camo miniskirt, which was already strange. And she bent over to like pop open a lawn chair or something like this. And when she bent over, the back of the miniskirt completely flipped up. She was wearing like a thong or something, which was bad enough. But because of her size, you could not see the thong. Like you could see the waistband of it. But the bottom part disappeared into her folds of plenty. And it's just hard to explain what her ass looked like. But it was so unpleasant that to this day, in spite of anything else I've seen, man, blood, I've seen a guy fall out of a Jeep on an expressway and his face turned to hamburger. And while that was bad, it was easier to make sense of it.
It didn't burn in your brain like this.
It did, but I'm saying you suffered a trauma. I saw the trauma happen. This woman just bent over. I saw her ass, and like it skeeved me the hell out, man.
What is the drawbridge down here in near Meridian? Is that the First Avenue drawbridge? That you have to kind of circumvent now to get to West Seattle. You have to go all the way down there. You have to go all the way past the Chesapeake. But yeah, it's right there. Like if you're going toward Burien. Anyway, it's a drawbridge, and it's a big draw. It's a substantial drawbridge. Yeah. I looked at the picture from the story, and it's basically the same size drawbridge as the one down there. So the reason we asked, what do you wish you didn't see? A bicyclist fell to her death when a drawbridge connecting Palm Beach to the Florida mainland began rising before she could reach the other side. A bystander tried to pull her to safety, but he lost his grip. The woman was walking her bike toward West Palm Beach yesterday afternoon. She was within 10 feet of the barrier arms that halt traffic when the drawbridge started to move. The woman then tried to hang on. There was a bystander nearby who tried to help her, but tragically, she fell 6 stories below, where she landed on the concrete. And she did this, by the way, with cars on both sides.
And she was walking her bike.
She was walking her bike across there. The bridge tender was described as distraught.
You think?
According to the Palm Beach Post. Florida Department of Transportation maintains the bridge, but the bridge tenders, they are staffed by a private state contractor. And Palm Beach is only accessible through 3 bridges, and this is the main bridge. So it's used by a lot of cyclists on this. But they're saying they do not still know what happened. Either way,
was the bridge opening, or did she just fall off?
She was at the part where the 2 parts meet.
Okay.
And the bridge started to rise. All right. She grabbed a hold of the top.
Oh, God.
While this thing went all the way up. And then she fell 6 stories to her death. She'd already dropped the bike.
So had she fallen off the bridge, or she just slid down the part that was elevated?
She didn't even slide down the part. She basically fell.
Jesus Christ.
All the way down. Yeah, exactly. I mean,
I guess I never thought about that. Like, you wouldn't have enough time to get off it.
Even if you get to the other side, you've got to fly your ass 6 stories as fast as you can.
I mean, what are you going to do?
While that thing slowly creeps up. You know what I'm saying? It's like, good God, man.
A couple other people have contributed. As far as what they wish they didn't see, I wish I didn't see the homeless woman who bent over, flipped up her skirt, pulled her butt cheeks apart, and then projectile diarrheaed all over the sidewalk right in front of me.
Ooh. I saw one like that in South Lake Union a couple summers ago.
Okay. I had one occasion
just pulled
someone
down and just projectile pooped in a bush.
Like, just go behind the trees. Right? That's all. And then someone else says, thing I wish I didn't see, my dad going, quote unquote, downtown with mom. He told me he was doing a medical check.
Medical check.
Yeah, sure, Dad.
Medical. He told you he was doing a medical check.
Well, sorry.
Is your dad a doctor?
Right.
Is your dad a doctor?
Random.
Hello, Tanner. Welcome to the midroom.
Hola, guys.
Hola.
Tanner, welcome to the program. Random question. Let's go with this one. What would you say, Tanner, is the most money that you've ever won? And if you've never won any money, have you ever won anything?
Oh, geez. Yeah, the most money I think I've ever won is only like $50 at a casino. I don't like to gamble.
That's still not bad, $50.
Yeah. What is it, the most I've ever lost?
Well, I mean, if you hadn't won any money, I was just curious if you ever won anything. Maybe like a raffle for something.
Oh, man. Yeah. I won a competition to be on a date night. Like
this
it
where
was like
people-
kind of like the old '70s show where it's like, you know, the random date where you got 3 guys on the other wall and then 1 girl on the other wall.
Okay.
Yeah, I did one of those. I got into a competition with one of those before, and I won pretty well. Let's just say that.
Did you? Because you can't see the woman you're talking to either, right?
No, I couldn't see her at all. It was a fun night.
Let me ask you this.
But
were you the best looking of the 3 guys?
Yeah.
You were? Okay.
When the woman saw you after seeing the other 2, did she seem relieved that she'd picked you?
Yes.
And when you saw her, were you relieved based on whatever you're attracted to?
Yeah, she was satisfied. I can say that.
Okay. All right.
One of the questions they asked me though was the funniest thing ever, and it said she had to ask me. She goes, "What would you do if you passed gas inside the vehicle while we were together?" And I went, I got a good answer. It's funny. I like to joke around sometimes, and I went, "I'm going to roll the windows up and turn it on defrost." And she picked me.
That's what it took, huh?
Yeah, it's my kind of woman.
Roll the windows up and turn the defrost.
Yeah, you guys have a great night.
Right on, man. Lock the doors and park in a tunnel.
That would be terrifying.
What's that?
Well, I mean, I think it would be terrifying to be in that scenario where, you know what I mean? It's just like, you don't know what the person looks like. I know it's just a date. It's just one night. Whatever the deal is.
Yeah, but still.
You just don't know. I mean, like anything else. I mean,
I think the hardest part, it's not so much that, it's that if there's an audience, all right, at the point that you're going to see each other, I would have to convince myself, no matter what you see, try to look neutral. Right? So if she's a smoke show, don't look so relieved that you're like, praise Jesus, and run around the stage. And if it's the most horrid thing you've ever seen, like don't scrunch your face up. Years ago, my band was playing at a show, all right, and I did not see his reaction until later. We saw a videotape of this, and a drummer had come up. We're kind of finishing the show. I think we're going to play one more song or something like this. But we had a really good crowd that night, and he had this big-ass pitcher of water because he's hot, he's drinking it. So he's kind of throwing it on different people, and from the video camera's angle, you see the back of this woman, and she lifts her shirt up. And, God, I wish you could see this on the radio, but, I mean, you just see his face go.
Oh, no.
Okay.
No.
So,
gross.
No, the problem was, I did not know her personally. I knew who the woman was because she'd been mostly front of the stage the whole time, and she, whatever the opposite of a looker is, she was that, all right? But when you watch the video, you can't see her face.
Right.
But because he was the drummer, he had not seen her up until that point. And I'm like, right, like you can't. I mean, he looked disgusted. It was quick, but it was obvious. And I'm like, so if I'm on a show like that, if you find them just terrifyingly ugly,
okay,
you can't make that face.
But okay, so you've got your strategy. You come around the partition, and she looks at you and gives you that face.
You're like
right. So you keep it neutral, right?
Right.
And when she sees you, she looks and goes, "Oh God!" Like,
Yeah.
"Oh God."
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
It's like, I guess I won. You know what
Yeah, I mean, you're kind of out of luck at that point,
exactly.
right?
I guess you just throw your hands up like, sorry.
Reason we asked, what's the most
we're not
money
having
you've-
sex?
What's the most money you've ever won, or if not, have you ever won anything? A woman in Michigan, her name is Laura Spears, and she was looking through her spam folder. She was looking for a missing email from a friend. And she came across a notification that she'd won the lottery.
All right.
It was legit, but it wasn't totally random. Laura had purchased a Mega Millions ticket on the Michigan Lottery website for a drawing 3 weeks ago. She matched 5 numbers to win $1 million.
Damn.
And she had the multiplier to multiply her prize by 3. She did something smart, though. She didn't click anything in the email. She logged onto her Michigan Lottery account to see if it was the real deal. This is the smart thing to do because we have, in fact, been through this training here at work. It was. And she claimed her prize at Lottery headquarters last week. Laura said that since she added the Michigan Lottery to her safe senders list in case there was another email that came around for the next time, hopefully, that she wins lottery. But if it wasn't for a friend, I mean, how many times do you really check your spam folder?
I don't.
On my personal stuff, like, rarely.
Yeah, so I would not, and then even if I did and I saw that, I would not believe it.
But
right?
the
If
spam
it said
comes
the
in so
Washington-
much, it's going to keep kicking that bad boy down. So if it's 6 months, you could have theoretically gotten maybe 40 more spam emails. Thus, that would appear on page 2 of your spam emails or whatever the
But
deal
I
is.
still wouldn't click it. If something said Washington State Lottery has my name, you've won, like anything, I just assume it's a scam. and I'd delete it. I'd be out $3 million, but there's no chance I would believe that.
Yeah.
I would have a tough time clicking on it. But I also don't play the lottery enough.
Okay, I mean, there's a point, yeah.
Yeah.
And here's another interesting story. A tourist who visited Las Vegas last month got lucky not once but twice after he won a huge jackpot from a slot machine and didn't even realize it. CNN reports that the Nevada Gaming Commission and their control board, they did an exhaustive search for an Arizona man after the slot machine he was playing on January 8th at the Treasure Island Hotel and Casino malfunctioned and did not alert him to the $229,368.52 prize. Per a release from the gaming board, staff at the casino similarly did not realize the man had hit it big. And by the time the casino discovered what had happened, he was long gone. That's when the search for the mystery man began in earnest with an extensive investigation that involved witness interviews, the review of hours of surveillance footage from multiple properties, the pulling of electronic receipts, even a probe into the local rideshare data. Damn. Finally, 3 weeks. You think you're going to get away with something in Vegas? No.
They go through this to give you money.
No. Yeah. Finally, nearly 3 weeks after he'd obviously left the Treasure Island, Robert Taylor was informed of his win. James Taylor, believe it enough, no relation, who was the head of the Gaming Board's enforcement division, praised his team for tracking down the lucky winner and for ensuring that the public trust in the gaming industry remains strong. 3 weeks later, they figured out who this guy was.
That is amazing.
Just by looking at the camera, trying to figure out any identifying things with him.
Did they? Okay, if the Nevada Gaming Commission gives you a call like, hey, pretty sure that you were in our casino and you won $230,000, was that you?
Well, I'm sure you can get proof. I'm sure.
Yes, it was.
Look, all you got to do is go through your debit account and go like, look, here I am at the White Castle at 2 a.m. Right. Here I am here. I took an ATM withdrawal here. You know what I mean? As long as you could.
Spearmint Rhino.
Right, exactly. Here.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever it is, you got receipt yourself. More of the random question coming up, 206-421-ROCK.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. When we think about the COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in the Black community, let's remember, it didn't happen by chance. It's justified in history. But the will to change the narrative is strong today, and our people are lending their voices to the conversation. We're sharing our stories and the reasons that made us choose the vaccine so we can lead the way for others to make a well-informed choice too. To hear our stories, visit hereforuswa.org.